Yes.
Alright then. I forgot to. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't see that. First, I don't think that's a thing. But you know what? Go for it. Uh,
Okay. All right.
um, what was I gonna
Say
say?
what?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So, the first thing we have to talk about is chaotic. Of course.
Yeah. So like, okay. So I started. I've watched that dude for like so fucking long. Like,
Hmm.
back in the day, like he was playing Amnesia,
Yeah.
and I. What game do you want to play, by the way? You
Flip.
want to play? Want to
Yeah.
play Flip? Alright. Sorry. Let me fix this up.
It's all
So
good. I'm dimming my
yeah,
lights.
yeah. So I listened to him back in the day, and I was totally like, just in love with the shit.
Yeah, I feel you. Hmm.
And especially after when PewDiePie fucking stopped doing those videos or stopped doing like horror films.
Yeah. You just kind
Like
of
way
went.
ago. That's how crazy YouTube has been.
Dude, I never really fell into that whole PewDiePie phase that everybody was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I was there when he started. Like he wasn't even blowing up until like 6 months after prior. Oh, I
Ah.
forgot it started. But anyway, so I guess he stopped doing uploads Cryotic
Hmm.
for like a while now, and I was like, okay, something's up. Like he does Twitch, he rarely does YouTube. He goes on Twitch still. Like you could still find his live streams and shit like all the time.
Hmm.
When it comes to him just playing games on like YouTube, playing his Let's Plays, it's just not it. And something's just so satisfying about his voice. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
this
dude.
dude.
When I watched that video, it was actually really satisfying. I was so shocked.
Hmm. It's just like a chill ass vibe with him. Anyway, so he uploaded a video today, which I showed Marvo, and I saw this man. He was basically talking about he was just tired of it. He was tired of the whole YouTube system,
Yeah.
and he was tired of just his life. Um, and I think that's what I want to talk about today, cause oh, this man joined in the
So David.
perfect time.
Am I allowed to join in?
Yeah, just can you
Yes,
turn on your mic though a little bit?
Oh, I got you.
Thank you. But yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a topic that it's a very interesting topic that people don't really talk about.
yeah. Like,
'Cause-
here's my personal experience with growing
Mhm.
as a person. I think people need to grow in a way that makes them them. Like you have to accept They have to accept who they are, what they've done, and how to change that.
Yeah.
That's how my morals have been, and I'm glad that he was literally talking about it and saying that, yeah, you guys need to do this.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they're growing, most people try to forget their past and they try to just move on to this different thing. Like I've even struggled with that a lot, just
Yeah.
trying to forget all like the things that I've done to people, and it's like you can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, I'm a different person. You have to first of all own up to what you've done, and how the world is, and then start to move forward.
Yeah. That, yeah, you have to. Because that's how you're gonna grow, not grow up. Because grow up is a strong word to say.
Yeah,
It's more of you becoming more,
like
you aging, more you knowing more, you having more knowledge.
yeah, getting like wiser, like just
Yeah,
understanding more concepts, and that's a concept that you have to grasp to even be able to learn new concepts. Because if you just switch over to this new person, like you're just acting like a brand new person, you're not really changing, you're not really doing anything, you're just kind of it didn't make any progress to what you already were. You're just starting over.
yeah.
And I think people get lost on that a lot of times,
I think,
myself included.
yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to because we're, as people, it's hard to acknowledge us admitting we're wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
It's something that we can't. It's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to admit.
it's so hard because it's like admitting you're wrong just basically it makes you feel stupid. Like it makes you feel an undesirable feeling. And
Yes.
that's where people just kind of lose it because you don't want to feel these undesirable feelings. You want to feel good, you want to feel happy, you know? And
Yeah.
being wrong, it doesn't give you any of those feelings. So it's hard to do that, It's hard to be in that state.
Right. And I think people need to acknowledge. There's many things we'll get into of why people need to do stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I think you accepting who you who you are, what your wrongings are, even if it's hard, it takes you that step further. It takes you that step reach.
Yeah. That's like that first step that you have to take, like, you want to climb a mountain, you can't climb the mountain until you take the first step, like
Right.
you gotta make an effort. And a lot of people don't want to put in that time or that effort because it's undesirable. Like I said, like it's not something you want to feel.
Yeah. You don't want to feel that way, but you're gonna have to. It's like pain. You're
Hmm.
always gonna have that pain. You're always gonna have that guilt.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah, and
For
people
this,
spend
it's
their
different
whole
though.
lives trying to avoid that pain,
Yes.
you know. And I get it. I get it. No one wants to feel that pain, but also in turn, you gotta realize that you still have that pain there, whether you try to run away from it or not.
Right. And people need to grow up
Yeah.
and take that leap. Acknowledge what you've done.
Yeah.
Acknowledge what is wrong.
Yeah, but then when you tell someone, "Oh, you need to grow up," they take it in the sense that they're not already grown. They take it as a
Right.
sense of, "Oh, you're looking down on me." Well, it's not even looking down on you. It's just you're doing things in an unfavorable way, an unsavory way that's not benefiting yourself or anyone else. But
Yeah.
you think that it's benefiting you, so you're still doing it regardless.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It's just a tough thing to watch happen to a person.
And there's nothing you can do from it.
Yeah.
You they have because you can't. That's the thing, though. You can't learn it. You can't. You can't have these things to yourself
Yeah.
because, or if someone else does it to you, my bad. Sorry, can't. You know, someone can't tell you that stuff, and the reason why is because you have to figure it out. It's you.
Yeah.
It's not them. It's you. They see stuff, and telling them to search on what's going on there, what the problem is, of what their issue is, isn't gonna fully change that. It's not gonna, if anything, that's gonna anger them.
Yeah, dude. Like that's the whole thing when like I think it was 2 years ago. I watched the interview on XXX with
Mm-hmm.
No Jumper, and
Mm-hmm.
he had explained like that alone is his idolization, and he explained why, which is basically because no one ever really knows you, and that's the same concept here. No one ever really knows what you're going through, and if a person's gonna tell you to do this a certain way, you're not gonna do it based on their how they feel, because they don't know what you're going through. They don't know how you're gonna react, and you can't tell a person to do something because they're just not gonna do it unless you have some type of, I mean, authoritative power over them or something like that. But that's a whole different dilemma.
Yeah. Speaking of what, I'm gonna like. Is there anything else you want to say to this? Because I
Nah,
want to talk.
yeah, you could go to the
Okay.
next thing.
So, the thing is that you saying with higher power, right?
Hmm.
I think people are afraid of higher power. I
Definitely.
think people are afraid of saying shit and talking shit about higher power. And they really shouldn't, because we, especially us Americans, we have more power as the people than any
Honest.
other government. And people don't think so. They think, oh no, the government has control of us. Yes and no.
Yeah, it's this controversy that people don't really think about is that okay, the government has a lot of power, but also you have to think about what the people are doing to give them that power for one, and you have to think about what the people are doing to stop them from getting that type of power, you know?
Yeah,
And people don't really think about that. Like the whole thing with like the Black Lives Matter movement right now, like it's crazy because Trayvon Martin like a couple years ago, Zimmerman literally auctioned off the weapons that the weapon that he used to kill Trayvon Martin. Like he auctioned off for money, and that was never put in any article. Like it wasn't like out there on the news. Like this
I've
George
never
Floyd
heard
thing is.
about this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And for everybody to get mad about this, like I understand. Oh yeah, George Floyd's life was really important. He was important. He's a person. But
Yeah,
the thing is, Trayvon Martin was a kid, bro. Like he was a teenager, and
yeah,
so that didn't receive as much media coverage and as much movement as it is now. You know, and from my perspective, I think of it like this: like the only reason that people are even like this is because of how much free time they have on their hands. You know, because
yeah.
of this quarantine and everything. Like without this quarantine, I guarantee you nobody would be doing as many movements as they are
Nobody
right
would be
now.
talking shit. Yeah,
Yeah, and the media coverage on it is insane. It's just like they don't even want to talk about it anymore. They're done with it. They got their story, and they're just trying to move on from it.
not only that, they're super biased.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that people in our age, and this is why I'm referring to higher power, is because we also take in media as higher power.
Yes,
Media
definitely.
is nothing.
Honestly.
Nothing at all. Like, yes, media gives you info about the world, but what does it give you? Negative info.
Exactly my point, dude.
Notice
Like,
how all the media has been saying all these negative things, all these riots, all these protesting are awful.
facts.
Um, yeah, the riots are bad, okay, But on the other side of it going, there's people protesting for a reason. There's
Exactly, dude.
there's changes people want to be doing. There's things that people want to do.
It's crazy too because on 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 uh on media they don't even post the changes that are actually happening because of the rioting and the protests. Like, did you see the law for Breonna Taylor? Like, I seen that
No.
all over like Instagram and stuff, right? And basically this law is being made out to her and stuff. But there's
Wait,
been
what
no
happened to her?
I don't even know exactly what happened to her. I just seen like the law was passed for what happened to her. I have to
Okay.
actually look it up what happened to her, but um
Okay.
but I'm just saying that the fact that she has a law made after her and the news doesn't even want to cover it, you know? They're covering, oh, the riots are still happening. Oh, the tear gas, this and that, you know? And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, you're you're commentating on the stuff that's bad about the rioting and stuff. You're not commentating on what's actually good coming from it. And it's like what are you doing, man? Like this is false information, or not false information, but misdirected information.
Yeah. So, for anybody else watching out there, the thing is that people think when they hear about these protests and whatever, they think, oh, it's political,
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, it's not political. It's people's lives. That's not political at all.
honestly.
Um, people are, and not only that, I hate when people say, now I'm coming to realize, when people say, not to be political, all these people. No, you should be political. The reason why you're not political is because you're afraid. You're afraid of people. What are you afraid of? The racists?
Honestly, like
People
it
you're afraid of? You're the racist and being afraid of other people's opinion? No, we need to understand what the fuck you're talking about. This is why we
exactly
need to connect. You're
us.
obviously racist for a reason. You obviously have these beliefs for a reason.
I got a comment saying about Breonna Taylor. There's Claudia said they went in her house without knocking or anything, and it was wrong. It was the wrong house, and then they shot her. Yeah,
What?
and I looked it up.
It
I looked it up right now, and she's a
isn't.
African American emergency medical technician. And dude, like just right there, like she's a medical technician, my guy. Like
Yo, what?
like you just like oh man, oh man.
Yo.
And the thing is, it was a what's it called? They had a no knock search warrant and entered her apartment, and it was the wrong apartment.
Mhm.
And three police officers, three. Like, how are you gonna have three police officers on one woman and end up shooting her? How does that how does that escalate to that?
And there was no
Unarmed.
warrant?
No, there was a warrant, but it wasn't the warrant for her house. Like it was a warrant for another person in a different house. They went in the wrong house.
Yo, what?
It's just wild, dude. Like, and that's just so sad, dude. Like, and that happened on March 13th of this year. And no one's even,
That's
but that's the other thing I mean. Like, no one was posting about that in March 13th. Like, once the Black Lives Matter movement started up again, then everybody started posting it, and then the law got passed because of the rioting and the protests and all that. Why why wasn't it happening before, you know? Like, I don't understand. That's it's just wild to me.
yeah.
And you know what really made me like mad today though? Well, not mad, it was just kind of upsetting to think about was
Hmm.
that everybody was posting that the Juneteenth thing, and for years, for years, bro, like this is the Juneteenth has been a thing for years. People haven't even known about it, and I'm looking at it, you know, throughout the years, nobody's posting it. It's cool, whatever. Y'all don't know about it, all right. This year, since the Black Lives Matter movement, there's just flooded with posts about Juneteenth, and I'm just like, okay, thank you. I understand. I respect the support, but why now? Why not before? Why not these past years? You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking to my friend Chloe about, and she was like, yeah, like she was saying the same thing, and you know, like why not before?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then seeing like, you know, like 92-year-olds protesting, saying like they still fighting for the same thing that they've been fighting for all their life, you know, and it's just sad to see that.
There's always been there's always been this. It's
Yeah.
always been there. It's always been there since the 60s. Ever
Yeah.
since we got free rights. Then it's died down. Or like equal rights, my bad.
Yeah.
It's died down. But it's still there. And why? Because nobody, like, there's two reasons why. Because of, that's how they were grown up before. Because
Yeah.
you still have those people who disagree with these equal rights long
Mhm.
ass time ago. And they pass it on. And you can't blame the, the, the other people for it, because that's how they were raised.
Yeah.
And then that's how their kids were raised. You notice how there's
Exactly.
a pattern here? So you
Exactly.
can't necessarily blame them.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like they're fucked up, seems like they're fucks, you know?
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
And see, that's the thing. That's the other thing that I like. It for me, I can't like I see so many people that like hate white people just because of like just that those specific racist white people that have voiced their opinions. So then
Mhm.
people just start to hate all white people, and I'm like, okay, I get why you're mad. Like I get
Yeah,
it, but the thing is, you also have to know that it's the same thing as religion. Like this is why I don't trust religion as much. I just kind of, you know, believe that there's a higher power, but I don't believe in a specific religion because these things are just passed down. Like you don't know if these things are true. You don't know what's happening. You just know what you're being told, you know? And that's a hard concept to grasp for a lot of people because they never been taught to grasp it and they never learned it, you know?
yeah.
It sucks.
I, it sucks, but it can be changed. It won't happen for a while. And it might not always happen, like, permanently, you know? Because no matter what, no matter, there's so many people in this sea. There's so many, there's so many people in this world in general. It, you can't, you can't fix racism. And you can't fix anything else permanently. Because there's just so many people.
Yeah. It
However,
just, yeah.
you could make it so where they feel safer, they feel more comfortable. Any race feels comfortable. And
Exactly.
people have to slowly learn that that everybody is okay. Like, yeah, everyone disagrees with something.
But it's okay, you know?
It's okay. As long as you have an open-minded mind. And that's the other problem. Not a lot of people have open-minded minds.
Yeah, like a lot of people are scared of other people growing. And that's what that's what makes a lot of this conflict, a lot of this racism type of deals or stereotypes, you know,
Mhm.
because they're simply just scared. Like,
Right.
it sucks. It. I mean, I get it because it's a new thing, you know, like, but after time, it's not a new thing anymore, you know. This, like, black people have been here for like forever, you know, like,
Since day one, yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, you
Yeah,
see a
it's
first encounter and you're just like, hey, we gotta control them. Let's make sure they don't get too rambunctious. It's like, what is that?
I also hate the I know it sounds bad, but I also hate the people that are like, guys, or like especially the white people. They're like, guys, give the blacks a rest. They've been through enough. And I'm like, you just found this out now.
Honestly,
They've been, they've been, they've been like this. They're used to it. I'm sorry, that sounds fucked up, but
but
they're
it's
used to
true.
it.
It's that's
We're
it,
just, and
yeah.
the good part is now we're taking the step. And the thing is, though, I like with the political, which with the political statements, as in now,
Mhm.
um, I don't think it's gonna happen for until next election. Nothing's gonna be
Yeah,
changed.
no, definitely, definitely, dude. Like, because even okay, say even if Joe Biden gets elected, which is like
Yep.
the so-called black people's candidate, you know, like, because
Yep.
he served under Obama, so that just makes him just.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
and that's gonna no. He hasn't even fucking addressed it.
Exactly, exactly. Like, there's been no address from him saying anything about any of this,
There is
and it's
no
like,
address from Trump. There is no address from Biden.
no, no, no,
How
no.
are you gonna?
See, the thing about Trump is the adjustments that he made for this is
Oh,
literally like the rioting, the looting. Man, it's just
yeah,
made
yeah, yeah.
negative impact. He's not even saying like, "Oh, I want to change something." It's like, "Nah, let's
Yeah,
just
no,
send the
no. He,
military in, bro."
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he talked about. That's what it is. And to me, right now, it's the media took this as a trend, and this is what I was saying before,
Honest.
that you can't trust fucking media, and I hate how media has embodied our society.
Yeah, like, dude, like, what's it called? When, when they had that Black Tuesday thing where
Mhm.
everybody was just posting black screens, it's what the fuck? Sorry. Um, but anyways, when they posted that, and there was so many people putting like the different tag, which was literally a tag made to help people, like people in the movement, and it was like, okay, if you're a part of the movement, you would know that that tag shouldn't be used on this post, this black screen, and it was literally flooded with all these black screens. And it's like, okay, it's just a trend that people are hopping on. They just want to feel like they're doing something. It
Right.
sucks. It's stupid.
If they do want to make a difference, get out there. Donate, for Christ's sake. You know?
Honestly, like, do something, like you don't even see, you don't even have to donate. You could just sign petitions like how everybody's trying to
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Like me personally, I don't know how petitions work. Like, I don't know if those, like, because I always see these like the ones that they post for like schools or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, there's a petition, but where is it going and how is it getting there? We're just signing it, just
Yeah,
so I don't really know.
petitions, I want to say they do something, but
Yeah, like, like I want
I
to say it's a step, but like,
I'd like to say it doesn't change anything, but it also gives them a nudge, like, hey, there's a lot of people saying this. Let's,
honest,
you know, we should consider it when we get the chance to. That's how I see it. Petitions.
Yeah,
But yeah, like literally petitions are the same thing it is in like school.
yeah.
You
Like
get people to sign what
like
what what you believe.
I think the petitions like you bring awareness, of course, but it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know what they're doing. Like other than that, but I don't know. You know, maybe they do work. Maybe they do get. Because I know technically you're gonna need one at some point. Like you're gonna need to
Yeah.
have people signing something to get a law made or to get the mayor to change his mind, you know, or something like that. But I just feel like it'll be different, you know. But especially because like a lot of the petitions that I see, it's it's those positions that could be easily hacked or something, like to put like just a bunch of random petitions on it or random signatures, and
Yeah.
it's like the court would just deem that, oh, non-fit to be a actual like to actually hold up in a court of law, you know. So it's like, what is that really gonna do?
Right.
Because literally you just have to put your name and an email most of the time. So it's just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what is this? But you know what? You know, if it works, it works. I'm not gonna like say like, oh, don't do it, you know?
It's just the thing is, I hope people know how to um, figure this shit out.
Yeah.
To keep up with it. I really don't want it to be like a trend people will eventually give up on. I really don't want that.
Honest. And
Because we're now acknowledging it. Sure, it's been around and people are just now finding this out. Like, it's shitty because that just shows you how people are nowadays in today's world, but yeah,
yeah,
it's a step. It's a step.
yeah, that's the thing that I meant. Like, it goes all the way back, dude. Like, it's it's like this whole thing with Trayvon Martin. Like, even before that, there was shit happening still. But I'm just saying, Trayvon Martin was like one of those things that got put into the media, and then it fizzled out. And it's like, is that how is that different from what happened to George Floyd? Like, if anything, in my opinion, uh, that his is worse. You know, like, I mean, they're both terrible tragedies, but Trayvon Martin was a kid being shot at like like what is that? You know, like how do you just do
No
that to a
media.
kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No media.
yeah.
No
It was
media
no,
coverage.
it was like barely any media coverage, and the fact that it had media coverage and then fizzled out, and then Zimmerman sold or auctioned the weapon that he used to kill him. Like, how do you do that? And then he built a whole fan base. Like Zimmerman has a whole fan base based on him killing Trayvon Martin. Like how like why is the world like that, you know? Like that's a shitty thing to happen. Like it's insane.
In the reason why the world is like that is because
Honest.
no one talks is because we're all afraid to say something. We're all afraid to say what's wrong with our system. We see, we go on Twitter and see what is the worst thing, and then see memes the next day. Nobody
Hell
says
yeah.
anything fucking else.
Honest, like dude, like
You know who
okay, think
says it?
about it when Kobe died, okay? Did not even not, I wouldn't even not even 2 hours after this man isn't pronounced dead, they were already making memes. Like he was already out.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I was in class, right? And I forgot who the teacher was, but he was talking about it and some kid made a joke about the Kobe joke and I was about Kobe dying and I was like, dude, like I didn't even say anything cuz I was just like people are going to be people, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow. This man just really died with his daughter in his arms, you know, like in a helicopter crash
Yeah.
with other people with them that had so much promising talent, and then you're just gonna make fun of them. Like you know, I get it. it's funny, like it's a joke, but like
Like, yeah, they're trying to brand things up for how
yeah,
bad
I
it is.
I get that, you know, but it's just like that's a lot. That's a lot to take in, man. Like the first day, not even the first day, you know,
Yeah.
just like I get
Can
it,
I
you
say something
know.
on that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could say something.
Alright. So, like, personally, I hate, like, I'm all the one to make jokes, but when people make it on like, the first couple of days, it almost seems like, definitely, there's people that don't even say it as a joke, they do it just to be an ass.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, they aren't doing it as a joke, they're doing it to
Yeah,
like, just make, like, just to make it funny. Like, not even, like, to make light of the situation, but to, like, talk down on somebody who died, or to make people feel bad who, like, supported that person and or supported what they did.
yeah.
Hmm.
That shit's just like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude, because it's just like, okay, like I get it if you're trying to like lighten the mood or, you know, you're trying to, you know, just take people's minds off it. I get that. You know, it may not be right or considered good or whatever, but I get why you're doing it. But there's people that literally just, oh, bro, I'm finna make fun of this nigga today, right now. Like, I'm just like, bro, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm about to crush this man's whole spirit. And I'm just like, dude, why? What was the reason? What's the reason?
Yeah. And see, the thing is too, why is no one stopping it? And
Facts.
why do you think that is? Because everyone's fucking afraid to step the fuck up.
Honestly.
Everyone's afraid to say shit. And this is what's wrong with us. Why do you think the world is so fucked? Because nobody that has a good mindset, that knows what to say, knows what to step up, won't step up.
Honest. And it's crazy to say that because you know, like a lot of people, they get stuck in this position where they just kind of submit to everything that's happening around them. And the concept that I've always thought about is, for me, I've always like thought about how the world works and how the government works and stuff, like how people move up to power, get placed in power, become like puppets and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people that try to want to change the world or like just do something different. Fuck, 20 cards. Oh, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
anyways, so they try to rise to power to make change. But as you're rising to power, you get lost in that system. You get kind of stuck and you start submitting to things and
Like
bam,
corruption?
yeah, like yeah, like not even corruption all the time. Sometimes it could just be like um it could just be what benefits you or your family, you know? So
Oh,
like
I see.
they could just be like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to rise up to here and start changing things, but if I start changing things, I could lose these other things, you know?" And
Yeah.
people are scared of that, and I get it, but also you got to think of what's better for mankind, you know? And a lot of people just don't believe in that because they have a family, they have
Yeah,
goals, they
they're
have
greedy.
ambitions. Yeah, they're greedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I mean I understand it could be just your goal. That's not your goal, you know, but the thing is, shouldn't it be somebody's goal? Somebody's goal to change the world for better, you know? And like me as a person since I was like young, I wanted to help people. That was my goal. But as time went on, especially once I got to high school, it was just like I couldn't help everyone, you know? I couldn't do anything for a lot of people. Like I've had people die next to me, you know, just bam, gone, just dead, body dropped. And it's just like, wow, like that happened. I couldn't do anything to save that person, you know? And it's a sad sight because you just kind of lose your drive. And it just sucks, man. I don't know.
I I think what everyone needs is to figure themselves. We're going right back. We're literally turning this whole circle of this shit.
Honestly.
This is why everyone needs to take their own time and figure out what is wrong with themselves and figure it out. Because the only way to get better is to figure it out yourself and to have time to figure it out.
Yeah. And people don't give themselves time to even try to get through to themselves. Like, they don't try to understand themselves. And that's the
And
sad part, dude.
yeah, and here's the thing. It's kind of funny because uh, I think majority of people don't do it because of today's standards. Fuck, I can't think of the name.
Morals?
Not morals. It's our society.
Oh, yeah. I get
Our
what you
corporate society.
Yeah.
I don't know the correct term.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the correct term either, to be honest.
Yeah, I think everyone's too focused on everything that they have to do. They have to obtain this money because in our society, especially nowadays,
Mhm.
money matters more than matter itself.
Yes, dude. Yes. That is the literal basis of our society, is that money rules over everything. And the truth is, that's not true. You know, that's not the basis. People think
And
money is power because money creates opportunity, money creates these things that they never had, you know? It gives you
and
control.
and the sad part is how it's evolved to that. It's gone to the point where you can't control that anymore. No matter if you say it'll always be there.
Yeah.
Money, you wish you could say that money doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't for your morals.
Yeah.
But in today's society, it's required, and that's
Exactly.
the harsh fact.
Exactly, dude. Like, it's so tough because I know a lot of people like try to get away from this monetary value of money, but you need it. Like, you have to have it
Right.
to even get to a place where you don't have it. Because the thing is, even back in, like, you know, like the caveman days or whatever, you know,
Yep.
there wasn't money
No,
physically.
there was trading and
Yeah.
there was some kind of economic system.
Yeah. And even then, it was whoever has the most, you know?
Yeah.
And there was always that power struggle that kept going, you know? And it's like, okay, so what do you do to get rid of this? You can't, because
No.
nobody's trying to help everybody else. Nobody's trying to help each other. They want to help themselves first.
And why is that? Because our system is built on greed. And not only
Exactly.
that, we can't have enough. Like I said, money matters more. It matters more so much that it doesn't even matter the shit you're even buying.
Exactly, dude. Like,
That's how bad it's gotten.
it's insane, bro. Like people really buy things just to have them.
Yep.
Like, okay, even say for instance in the video game GTA. Okay,
Yeah.
just just think about it this way. Okay, people gain money in that game. People, as soon as the big ass yacht and the whatever that gold plane was, the Luxor or whatever. These are
Yes.
normal things, like normal things that cost a ton of money in that game. And people bought it in that game just to have it because other people won't have it, because other people can't get it, just to flex on other people. And that's what a lot of today's society's about. A lot of
Yep.
people just buy things
Well, and
because other people.
especially in all the richer states like California, Las Vegas,
Exactly,
New
dude.
York.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the poor states, they're trying to survive.
Yeah, dude, like Detroit, bro. Like, have you ever been to Detroit? Like, it's
No, but I know how bad it is over
yeah,
there.
it's insane, dude. It's actually insane, and it's just like how like people are trying to get out of there because they want to survive, but you can't even get out of there because no one wants to help you. No one wants to help you get out of there because they want to help themselves get out of there,
Yeah.
and that's the sad part about it. Just sucks.
Okay, that's-
Hey Xavier,
Hey, buddy. Trying to play some
doing?
Uno?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can join us. We're just doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't want to interrupt.
Well, I mean,
Just-
you could join, you know, like
You could
if you want to
join,
say
just
anything.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You could not say anything, do whatever you want. It's cool.
yeah. Lower your mic a little bit though.
Yeah.
Boom. Better.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, it does the same.
You have to adjust in like the party.
I will. Boom.
But yeah,
Fuck,
Better?
I lost my train of thought.
we were talking about the money
What was the last thing
mattering.
you said?
The last thing I said.
Detroit.
Damn. Yeah, Detroit. Okay. Yeah. So people are trying to get out of Detroit, but other people don't even want to help them get out of Detroit because they want to help themselves. And of course, there's like always those, certain people, that are always gonna help other people. They just have good morals. They're just, good people. But there's so many more. There's so much more people that want to do it for themselves. They don't want to help other people. I don't know what the word is for it.
Uh,
I don't even know.
I
Man.
know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it either.
Yeah, I don't want to say like bad people because they're not. It's not a. They're not bad
No,
people.
yeah, it's just, it's not, I mean, it is kind of selfish, but it's just,
It's I don't even know, dude. It's for
Uh,
personal gain,
man for itself.
Yeah, every man for himself. Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. That's how it is. That's how the world is now.
Well, it's always been like that,
Yeah, true.
but I think it's gone to the point now,
I feel like it's just getting
It's there.
progressively worse.
yeah. And that might only because, because of just, like, art, economics. Is it?
Yeah.
Economy, my bad, my
There it
economy.
Yeah, 'cause dude, like when I was in the economics class and stuff, like I was just taking the basic like college level class, and when I was learning about the micro economics and the macroeconomics and how different they are and all this stuff, and it was just like, okay, you learned all this stuff, and you see that the economy's failing, and everybody's trying to do this struggle to save the economy. Ask yourself, why is it failing? Like, not the not the not the like monetary reasons it's failing. Ask yourself the moral reason it's failing.
Right.
And that's because
It's
people
not.
don't people want to look out for themselves, and I understand.
It's not just about. It's not just about our government. I mean, it is a big role. Don't get me wrong. You do partially bring government, but it's
Yeah.
also ourselves as people. We ourselves buy so much shit. We made what's call it? We made to the point. What the fuck is it called? It's not upselling. It's when something raises the price because more people are buying it.
Uh, I know the word. I just
I
can't.
know the word too. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to
That's what
say.
it
Yeah.
is, marketing increase, right? Just me.
Weapon?
No
No, it's
supply
a
and
certain
demand, right? It's like a supply
supply
and
and
demand.
Yeah,
demand.
yeah.
Yes,
Supply and demand. There it is.
it's because of us
Yeah.
requiring supply and demand, and it's not because uh of just just food. It's not because of just different uniques of food. It's also to do with all kinds of technology that's evolved around us. It's all kinds of just newer stuff that
Yeah.
everyone wants, and everyone tries their best to get it because due to the internet, the media, just everything showing like, oh look, you could have it too.
Yeah, dude. Like okay. Like I seen this TikTok like a couple days ago about Lil Yachty's toaster. Like his like fancy touchscreen toaster, and I was like, dude, like I want that. I know a lot of other people want that, and it's like $300. And you know, I'm not even the type of person to use a toaster, but I want it. Like I just want it, you know. And I know a lot of people, I think of the same thing, you know. Like
Yeah,
they
because
want this toaster because they seen how it looks, they seen how much he enjoys it, they seen how much other people are liking this video of him showing off this toaster, you know. And they're like, oh, I want that. I want that power, that that uh I don't even know like if there's a word for like
no, I know what you're
famous,
saying.
you know, like
Yeah,
that fame and glory, you know.
yeah.
And I get that. I understand. Like it's something that you want, you know, and it's just sucks,
It
man.
the, and the more people want it, the more it's gonna up.
Yeah,
More price is gonna be up. The more resources it costs, the more everything has to deal with it.
exactly,
Um, and the sad part is that just makes the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
exactly, dude. Because okay, think about this toaster, this great looking toaster or whatever, and it the supply and demand for it go up and up and up. So what happens to the toasters like that are like less, you know? What happens to those? What happens to those ones that are just cheap
They
and
get their prices
affordable?
raised.
Yeah, they get their prices raised, and then what happens to the poor people that needed those kind of toasters? And that happened not even just with this toaster metaphor, happens with a lot of other stuff, you know? Like,
You want to know a perfect example? I felt so bad when I found this out. So one of my coworkers,
oh, invite
um,
Xavier, by the way.
oh, I have to quit it.
Yeah.
I'm
You can't join session. You can't join
downloading.
through the party.
Oh, okay. He's downloading it right now.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Um,
Just invite me.
oh, you left. I
I'm gonna
see.
let.
So, you know those people, like my coworker, right?
Mhm.
I have glasses, and
Mhm.
because of my health life insurance, health insurance, healthcare, whatever,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm able to get my glasses covered. That is $100 to $150 every 2 years. Every
Mhm.
time I renew my glasses, it would cover $100 to $150.
Mm.
I found out that keep in mind my coworker's like in her uh 30s to 40s.
Mhm.
She doesn't have prescription glasses.
Bruh.
She gets the ones at Walmart that are like 8 to 20 bucks.
So,
And they don't have anything. They are just the ones you get like with a certain percentage.
wow. And she just like,
And that's what she uses. That's all she could afford.
wow.
And why do you think that is?
'Cause the supply and demand, man.
Because people have higher or not people with higher insurance, people that have better insurance,
Mhm.
which better insurance means better glasses you'll get, better healthcare you'll get, better
Yeah.
everything you get.
And it's like that's such a
For a
shitty
higher price.
dude, that's
Yeah.
such a shitty concept too, because it's like, okay, most of the people that are able to afford these types of insurances, most of them aren't gonna be in these bad situations, you know? And that's
Yeah.
what sucks with insurance companies, but um then there's like the not not always poor people, but like just, you know, moderate people, just regular everyday people that can't
Yeah.
afford this insurance. They have to do these things. They have to go to like clinics or whatever, you know. And it's like, why why can't you help them? Like, why can't you put more money into these clinics? And it goes back to the Black Lives Matter thing. Like, okay, no one really looked at the spending for police departments, and police departments have more spending than healthcare and education combined in most states.
Yeah.
And that's an insane thing to actually think about, dude. Like, it it doesn't even make sense. Like, you're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna protect the peace, we're gonna do all this, and all the while that you're trying to protect the peace, you're also up bringing it in the first place. But not even that, you're not helping the people that are getting messed up by this criminal activity, you know?
Mhm.
And it's just like, how does that make sense in a person's mind?
Yeah. See, and that's why Obama put healthcare out, put free healthcare, you know, the Obamacare,
Hmm.
whatever. So that way he can help those people. And a lot of people think, oh, the Obamacare was shitty because now, like, you know, uh, it was forced, you know. Now people are
Yeah.
forced to have insurance. But, like, people that, the hospitals and everything were incredibly in debt because people couldn't afford their hospital insurance because they couldn't afford their hospital bill.
Hmm.
And why is that? Because this whole fucking money dealio,
Yeah.
Marvel.
Like,
Because
dude.
our corporates are greedy and we're all selfish.
Yeah, like, dude, like, even, okay, if we're just talking about the whole Trump thing, you know, when he literally abolished the whole initiative to prevent something like COVID from happening, it's just insane to think about, you know, like, how how did you even, like, what did you do that for, you know? Like, this was literally a measure to protect people from a virus like this. And
Oh, I can go on conspiracies with that shit.
yeah, and
Clay, I
it's
think
like,
that's another podcast.
yeah, that's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's just like, you're saying that you're gonna protect people, you're gonna do all these great things for people, and you end up screwing everyone. Like, it's it just sucks, man.
But like I said, it's not just these corporations.
Yeah.
It has to do with people. And people don't realize it yet because they're so blinded by all these objects that are being sold. Which again, yeah, it's part of corporate, but it's also because we've gone to the point now that it's, I wouldn't say because we ended the Dark Ages, but it kinda is.
Mhm.
Because you know how we restricted science and all this crazy shit
Yeah.
for religion,
Mhm.
and then now we have the technology for everything.
Yeah.
I think the reason why now we're getting so much technology, and because of this, you know, like we're advancing, and that's a good thing, but it's also bad because there's no, we put a higher value on it,
Yeah.
and
Like, dude, like, as the iPhones have came out, like, that, just for an example, iPhone or Apple, whatever, um, as the iPhones like keep coming out, they've
yeah,
literally just been getting more expensive. Like,
mm-hmm,
and I get it. Okay, I understand with new technology, prices get higher. But the technology in most of
people
them,
aren't
like
good.
nowadays, it's it's not only is it the same most of the time, like it's very similar, but people can't do that. You keep making the prices higher and people aren't able to pay these type of things, and it just creates this
But
economic standpoint that fucks up
no,
everything.
that's the problem though.
Hmm.
People can't afford it.
Yeah.
But it's required. It's gotten to the point where smartphones are required
Yes,
now.
dude. Yes.
Nobody can't have a flip phone anymore.
Facts. Like, and
And
That's
dude,
not true. That's not true. Motorola. Hey, there's too much shit. Motorola.
okay,
It's a flip
that's
phone
true.
with a
That's
touch
true.
screen. It's a
That's
flip
true.
phone with a touch screen. You
That's
got me
true.
there though.
But it
yeah,
counts as a smartphone because it's
I'm just kidding.
because
But
it's
he said
touchscreen.
flip phone. He said flip
Okay,
phone. Don't forget
you
it. They're
know, you're
smartphones
right.
too.
wait, what?
You're right.
Don't
Okay.
discriminate phones, man.
Okay, you're right. He's saying because it's technically a flip phone because it does flip open. He's not saying the concept of you're talking
The
about like literally.
smartphone. Yeah,
Yeah,
smartphone.
yeah.
But of course, the flip
Someone
phone
have
is a
me muted?
smartphone.
Xavier,
No,
do you have? No, Xavier
no,
can hear
yeah,
you.
I can hear Chris.
Yeah, he can hear. The
I
party
don't hear
glitch
him.
probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. Give me one sec.
Yeah, he's gonna leave and join back.
Yeah, I'm at 3 minutes. No,
But
I'm just sitting
ah,
watching the fights and listening to you guys talking to. I
yeah,
joined and I was like, wait, did I join this thing right? And then I was like, oh no. You guys are just, can
damn.
you hear me?
You kind of lagging right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
There you go. Okay, I can hear more.
But back
Oh,
what I
my
was saying
comments.
is, yeah, but back, yeah, but the requirement thing. That is a true statement. Like the the fact that smartphones are so much like they're so needed in so many lines of work and so many just daily activities, and they're just kind of growing in that. So it's just insane to think about, you know?
I yeah. I don't think I don't think that it shouldn't be that way.
It
I
shouldn't.
feel like I feel like if that's the case, then it needs to be cheaper.
Yeah,
I know it's a luxury for Apple and all, because Apple is, believe it or not, a luxury thing to have.
yeah,
They have a fucking a $4,000 wheels for their PC. I shit you not,
exactly,
look it
dude.
up. It's
Doesn't make
only the
any
wheels. They're
sense.
not smart or anything. They're just fucking wheels. They're little tiny wheels, like desk wheels, that you put on their PC stands. Like their Macs, their giant Mac machines. For $4,000. How you gonna tell me? Like, yeah, they're obviously a luxury. And I just, but other phones should be, and I know there is, but they're shit. You can't work them. You know how like the ones that are like cheap as fuck, that I guess now in children usual of age, like are,
Hmm.
I guess like the kids that are like in elementary, that like they have phones now, you know?
Hmm.
They have like the shitty smartphones.
Hmm. Yeah,
Those ones barely work. I know
honestly.
people who have them, and why? Because they can't fucking afford one. They can't afford a better one.
Facts. And the thing about these smartphones, dude, is it's not even just the smartphones. And I understand that other companies, they sell like smartphones for like less, like like the Google Pixel or you know the Androids and shit. It's like okay, yeah, those are cheaper, but some of them aren't even that much cheaper too. For one,
No, they're not at all cheap.
exactly, and even that, even if it's cheaper, most of them don't even run as well.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the reason that they're cheaper, or they don't last as long, and then you have to do the same thing. And dude,
And
Apple has
people
had
can't
countless
afford that.
yeah, and like, Apple has had countless lawsuits because they were accused of like um the battery thing with making their batteries worse over time, so you have to buy a new phone and the updates and all that. And I was like, okay, that's a company that wants money. They that's what they're about. They want money, so they're putting in a means to get more money. They're making, oh, your phone is stopped working because your battery's not good anymore when it should have been lasting, you know.
But here's the thing too. Because this is every like like no one is gonna say anything.
And my
Why?
thing's done downloading. I guess.
Because okay, you can join.
Yeah,
I
you could
invited
try
you,
it.
so you should be able
It's
to.
open?
If not, you can
Yeah.
join in partnership. Nobody's like, but because no one's afraid to step up and talk, they'll do lawsuits, sure,
Hmm.
but is that helping them? Is that gonna make them bankrupt? Hell no.
And
Why? Because it's too late for that. Us as people have fucked up already.
honestly,
We
and
didn't
then
speak up, so it's too late for to say anything now.
yeah, and then the lawsuit isn't even, it's not even helping the majority of people. It's it's aimed at getting money back from the
Mhm.
company just
Yep.
for that individual. It's not something that they're like, oh, we're gonna sue them so we get exposure. We make a change. It's not for that. It's literally just giving back. It's just literally a payback
The only
situation.
time they did that was with the battery thing, and even then it wasn't even like a good one. It was
Yeah,
just like, if it's been a year, we could do it for you.
honest.
Like, what?
Doesn't make
Just
any sense, man.
people, like I said, people need to speak up with sort of things when it comes to shit that media has said, shit has the companies have done, and the politics of everyone's government. And I know, like I said, people don't want to talk about these stuff because they're afraid, because they have the higher power, they have big money. But who's giving them money? You. You're giving them the taxes. You're giving them all the products you're getting.
Hmm.
It's not just them, it's you. And people need to figure this out.
Exactly, dude.
They're
And
they need to understand when it's enough. When is enough take and when is enough give.
doesn't make any sense, dude. Like it's just like, okay, where are you gonna draw the line? You know?
And the crazy part is, it's not. The only way it's gonna draw the line is when people start talking and when people speak up. Enough with saying no, no, no politics. No, like, what are you doing? You know who people are actually talking? This is why is like the people that are fucking shit. The shitty people. You know?
Yeah.
Why do you think we have 2 fucking retards elected?
Honestly, and then it's just
Because they're the ones that can speak up. You're telling me, America, that these people can speak out, and us Americans, us as people, can't? What? This is why we're fucked up. And this is why we need to figure out shit.
honestly,
We need
and
to start talking. Even if your views are bad. Even if you're the outcast.
see, but the thing is,
I-
you could have bad views, but that doesn't necessarily mean you always have to do them. Like, Trump literally, when he has a bad view, it doesn't matter that it's bad, he still goes with it.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, I get that. That's a respectable leader tactic. Like, you're just gonna you're doing what you want to do because
Yeah.
that's who you are. You're not gonna follow anybody else's lead. I get that for like if it's just yourself that you're worried about, but you're worried about a whole nation, my guy. So like, you can't just rely on what you want to do. And that's the insane part that I don't think people get a lot of times.
How could you, Marvin?
I'm sorry.
The government wasn't the one who built America. It was us. It was us as people.
Exactly, dude. It just
How
sucks,
could
man. Why'd you change to purple?
I don't know.
I think there's fuck, I had something in my mind. I can't fucking think. Politics.
I feel
Right.
you.
So us, you know, even if you have, like, let's say, and here's the other thing. We keep saying, Democrats, Republicans, you
Marvin!
know, liberals, you know, like, everyone.
Yeah.
Stop. We're all the same.
Facts. Like, it's just
We
it's
might
sucks.
have different views on how to rule the government,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
Because the thing
Because
is,
we can all agree with something at the very end.
yeah, or at least even if we don't agree, there's a compromise. You know?
Exactly.
And what were you gonna say?
As well as long as people are open-minded and don't just disagree with everything. That's kind of why we have this podcast. That's kind of why we're doing podcasts. Is because we want people with open-minded
Yeah.
thoughts to speak out. Because I know Marvin doesn't agree with everything I say. And I know I don't agree with everything that Marvin says. From time to
Yeah.
time, you know?
But there's still like a respect factor there. You know, like
Yeah.
you can respect each other regardless of differences.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't believe in that. And it's just like, okay, what are you gonna do then? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Just
I
fucking terrible, man.
just I think people need to stop getting their head out of their ass. Start being more open-minded. Because we're living in a world that is narrow-minded, and it's always has been. And people don't realize how good being open-minded you are. You are better as a person if you're open-minded.
Yeah, because if you're not open-minded, you can't you can't understand anyone else's point of view. Like you can't even try to comprehend their point of view, and that just creates more conflict.
Fuck.
It
Why do you
just
think
sucks.
religion is still a main problem? Why do
I
you
mean,
think?
culture. Yeah, that's what I mean. Religion. I mean, religion and culture have a lot to do with people being accustomed to shit and not wanting to change. It's like
Mhm.
really hard for people to change, you know.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, why we've done this for hundreds and hundreds of years. Why change now?
Yeah.
And why? Because look at ourselves.
And that's the whole thing that I said earlier. Xavier wasn't here for this too, so I'll just repeat it a little bit. Um, the whole thing about religion for me is that it's been passed down. It's for so long. It just keeps getting passed down and passed down and passed down. And for me, I
Mm-hmm.
just don't truly believe in religion, like like a specific one, because what's really real, you know? Because it just keeps getting passed down, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with racism. It just keeps getting
Mm-hmm.
passed down. You don't necessarily believe that that's how it is, but that's what you've been taught, so that's what you pretend to believe in, you know?
You, and that's why you can't blame these racists.
Yeah, and I don't
Because
disrespect those people that like say they like seen something, you know, like this faith, or you know, they seen God in person, you know, or things like that, because okay, that's your experience, you know. I don't have that experience, so I can't tell you that that's wrong. But other people
Oh,
will
how do you
find
call
that
Uno?
triangle.
square.
Oh, square.
That's square.
Yeah, square when you're
Triangles
about
to
to put.
call.
Yeah, triangles to challenge it. But
Oh, it's just square. Okay.
yeah, so when
The fuck? I'm queen
fuck,
and
I
not
forgot
blind
what I was about to
match.
say.
The fuck?
No, yeah, I mean, like, I get that 100%, like, your point in the whole religion shit, like, I understand when
Just
people say, like, oh, the Bible, how could we, like, every little bit of it be true if it's been written over and over again.
Hmm.
So we're supposedly whatever it is, the whole story,
Yeah,
whatever you want to believe, you know? Exactly how you put it is because people, I mean, people could have been reading scriptures, but you never know, dude, who wrote the scripture and if it was all true. You know,
yeah,
it's a lot to just put into write a piece of paper and say that
and then just
again, like
believe it. Like,
thousands, if you want to say even thousands of years ago, because it's what they're fucking saying basically.
yeah,
It's really hard to like
just build.
how could you base people's morals and ethics in the 20 and like from the 21st century to the fucking anything
Exactly,
like anything way before, you
I
know.
mean, yeah,
exactly.
The
And that's
19th century, it was we were already there. It's like somewhat there, you know. We're already driving the whole fucking world into the shitter slowly.
I
exactly,
feel like
dude.
we should definitely talk about religion in another podcast.
Honestly,
Because I have
Well, I mean, people,
another full
it's
discussion
tough
for
to
that.
say because like how kind of like how what Marvin says is like I kind of feel the same way. Like no one's wrong, bro. I'm not gonna say anyone's
No,
wrong
no,
because I
I know
don't
what you're
know it.
saying.
You
I
know,
know what you're saying.
I get his opinion too of being like, hey, I mean, honestly, a lot of it could be, some of it could be true from each one of them. We don't know that. It's
Yeah.
really hard to say.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying I have different thing. Like I have like a whole different podcast considered for religion. Like I have a whole fucking how many hours to go
dude, I
talk
can't
about that.
click. I can't click things in.
Yeah, it kicked me out just to play you guys.
How did I
Oh
play?
yeah, I was like, who's Shorty?
How did I play the card? And I. Okay, I'm just join Chris now because
Oh,
it glitched out where I wasn't able to like
but
click
yeah,
things.
no, I get what you're saying. You don't know, and I feel like that's why a lot of people are atheist.
Hmm.
For that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because they realize that either that they don't believe anymore or what? Wait, no, wait. Okay, wait, I'm still recording. Never mind. It scared me for a sec.
Oh,
Uh,
Ruh-roh.
yeah.
Unable to
There's
connect.
just
You could
got
disconnect.
disconnected.
you could join back.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
disconnected.
sure.
Okay, well, you should be able to join back anyway.
What the?
Oh
It's
my
glitched again.
card.
Oh yeah, it's glitched too. I didn't.
Dude, what?
The fuck?
Okay.
What the fuck is happening?
Bruno
I
Flip,
don't
you have
know.
been invited to join a free match of Bruno Flip. Oh.
Yeah, I'm
I
quitting.
just left. Yeah.
What the fuck are these issues? You host one then, Marvin. I don't know. I don't really care if it's I
Okay.
think we're done with that.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Um.
Oh right. Yeah, atheist. So like, I understand that. We'll go into it more in a different podcast when we talk about something.
Yeah. Wait, David, are you here? Okay, I don't think he's here. I was just because I know David has like a couple views on that, so I just wanted to know what he was thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah,
What
'cause-
happened? No players left. What?
Yeah, we
I'm gonna just start another one.
Oh,
He's gonna start.
okay.
No, I just when
It's-
people will come to agreement, and that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because I believe we have a chance at world peace, at least for first world countries.
Yeah, bro, I was gonna say, like, it takes a lot. Like, a lot.
It
For
will, because we're
mankind
bare-
to get into any part of, like, fucking. Like, knowing that everyone else is actually fucking human. You get what I mean? Like, it takes a lot to fucking.
Yeah.
Like a holocaust, a fucking. Like, they say a pandemic. It literally takes any like a pandemic to fucking
Dude.
make us.
Literally,
Like,
that's
have
what I was
some-
talking about.
Like civilized fucking shit for each other.
Yeah, like that's what I was talking about earlier. Okay, so you know how like back in like a couple years ago, when Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman, you know, that altercation where he was killed, and then the media kind of went viral a little bit and then died out. So
Yeah.
after the media died out, Zimmerman built like a whole fan base off of what happened, and he sold or he auctioned off the weapon that he used to kill Trayvon Martin for money, dude. Like that's an insane concept. And then
Wait, Zimmerman did?
yes, and
No way, that's crazy.
and okay, think about just what's happening right now compared to then. It's insane because George Floyd. Okay, like I understand George Floyd could have been a great man. You know, his life was valuable. You know, it's a person, it's a human being's life. But
Yeah.
he was also a grown man. Okay, and Trayvon Martin was a kid, a teenager, and you're telling me that we're doing all of this stuff, all of this Black Lives Matter stuff, this big movement, starting it up again for this guy, George Floyd, but we didn't do it for Trayvon Martin? How does that make sense? And the only thing that I've been able to understand is because, oh, everybody's in quarantine, they're bored, they want to do something. Now it's just become a trend to do this, to be a Black Lives Matter supporter,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad to see that.
I mean, of course, like everyone says, there's people doing the right thing with the actual cause, and there's people doing the wrong thing. A lot of people are just finding it as an excuse to do stupid shit. But I mean, a lot of people have a true heart about what they're trying to say. You know, you can't fucking tell people that. I mean, and it helps. Oh my god, that game is big. It helps. It helps when you actually see like intelligent fucking people on the TV. I mean, you know, like not to say like everyone isn't intelligent, but you know, obviously
Yeah.
a lot of fucking TV and media is fucking
Yep.
bullshit. But
Yep.
but when you have someone really sitting there by themselves, just telling you something about how they feel about their cause, nothing political, nothing fucking, you know, oh violent, whatever bullshit. Someone simply sit there and tell you something, like you know they're not like bullshitting. They have to have. I mean, you can fact check them. You know, that's something you do as a fucking person. You're not just gonna take all this info in and just be like, oh, okay, you know, unless you're a fucking moron. That you just watch, you know, whatever you watch and you think you're just gonna learn that and that's it. So that's what, and like you were saying with fucking dude, smartphones. That's the big problem. People see something right away and one trend, one swipe, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that's the truth. And then they
Yeah.
go fucking do some stupid shit, or even they even say something stupid and look ignorant.
But
I have to draw.
that's the thing we were talking about too, is that people do that because of media and internet and everything. Social media is is an influence, and
Yeah.
so people have to follow that, and people don't realize that you could do this. You could decide on your own. You can decide whether what's good and what's bad. You could decide your morals on your own. You don't need media. You don't need internet. You don't need social media for all this shit. You need to figure
Bro,
out
can
you.
I get a red? Fuck. What the fuck?
And
Fine, give me the whole deck. Fuck. Are
and
you
it's really
serious?
hard
Bro,
for
22? 20? I mean 21?
Trust me, I
Come
got 32 before. It's terrible, but you can come back
people.
from
It
it.
really is.
on. Bro, okay, so what do you guys want? Fuck you.
Um,
You do not just do I have a 4?
what was it?
Bro, I am pissed if I don't have a 4. I don't have a
God
4!
damn it, Gomez! Keep on our topic.
I'm sorry. I'm getting
I like
fucked
can't
by
even
Uno.
think. I'm like trying to think of what I was trying to say. Damn.
Uno just made me its
I was
bitch.
saying when Gomez fucking bitch.
Say, look, you're not helping!
I was saying that how social media people don't learn from themselves. They prefer using social media and any kind of
Mhm.
other influence
Mm-hmm.
rather than choosing themselves, because that's how you do make yourself better.
I mean, I mean, yeah, I can even jump on that. Like, even like how Marvin was saying with that, Mark's, bro, if you're a celebrity, and I love when I see celebrities doing actually good shit, like genuine good shit, and then like people that don't even fucking. I love when I see a celebrity that doesn't have a bunch of fucking shit. You know, they don't buy unnecessary stuff they don't fucking want. Fucking 7 cars, fucking unnecessary trips everywhere, whatever. But they're actually fucking throw a bunch of money or whatever they make into charities here and there, and I feel even weird sometimes too because I'm like, how do they really do that? Does anyone ever
Mhm.
like check to see if they actually fucking throw
What the
that
fuck?
twenty
Did you
five
see this card?
thousand
I
five
don't know.
500,000? Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's insane, dude. Like people
Play cursed.
just money is such a I don't even know what the word is for it, you know?
Corrupted or demigod?
No, it's not corrupt. It's just
No,
it's a
for
sad. It's sad
I
to
think
come to say it's a need of like a just to survive in this fucking damn place.
what is
Well,
Because you
happening?
really without
may I
money,
ask,
you
how is
just
it
die.
not corrupted? How is money not
No,
Well,
it
corrupted?
I
is
wouldn't
corrupt. No,
say
no, I'm not saying it's not corrupt. It is
Okay.
100%. But I mean, I that's what I mean though. It's sad because it's come to be a fucking part of our lives that we have to live with.
see, I don't think money is the corrupting. I think money corrupts people. That's the line that people kind of have to look at, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, I can see that. There is a I showed you a few videos
I hate you.
sometime this week, Marvin.
Mhm.
Royce the 5'9"?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I was listening to this fucking album that was like posted on February, and that shit's so relevant. Like it talks about how our money economic system has, the economy. It talks about how the blacks are mistreated. It talks about how the world is so fucked because of our system. And I'm like, damn. Like, all this hit in February. This was before fucking the quarantine. Like, this man knew. That's how you know. Because with a person that's open-minded and has shit like that, you figure this shit out. Because you can speculate what the fuck's going on. You can see what the fuck, it's hard. And now people are literally going to like videos and listening to shit that's like, oh my god, this shit's relevant. How did they know?
My
How
shit's
did
glitched.
or like the Simpsons, how did the Simpsons know? I'm like, well, to be fair, half of the shit that Simpsons like suggests is like fucking insane. But also, like, I can see the prediction. Like, I get it. Like, I saw that coming. We all saw that coming.
Like, oh yeah. But see, some of the predictions, I was like shocked to see because I was just confused. Like, because some of those things were things that I couldn't see, like just someone just predicting. It just wouldn't. How, and it's just insane to see some of those things. But of course, some of them are just exaggerated.
Right.
It was just random freak of chance. But I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I can't think of any examples on the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I know I've been like, yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Like, I figured shit's gonna hit the fan. Like, I still believe next year I'm gonna be dead ass surprised if we don't, if something hasn't been nuked.
See, I think there will be a nuke threat, but there won't be a nuke. That's what I feel. That's just my take on it, because I just don't think anyone would be really bold enough to nuke us right now, especially
I'm just wondering who's to start busting out the secret weapons and shit.
Well, that's the thing.
Start ray guns and shit, where the fuck they've been hiding.
I don't know. Like, you're probably
aliens
right though.
And shit.
Due to the pandemic, I think everyone's kind of neutral right now. Besides China, everyone hates China right now. But
did we ever like China?
Everyone hates China right now.
No,
nobody knows what the fuck's going on in China, though. That's another discussion. It's because this is a whole another conspiracy theory, but so I'm not gonna go into it. Another podcast.
No, Trump likes to like China. They're saying China, China, China.
He says wanna fucking nuke China.
Virginia.
World War III on China.
Dude, the thing is, if China went to war with us, that would be insane,
It wouldn't be a huge deal with our with like the war in general. What it would affect is our trade.
Well, yeah, of course the trade, like our economics.
The trade is gonna fuck us over. You know how many shit that is made over here?
Yeah, our trade, our economic system would be fucked after that. Yeah. But I'm just talking about just in general with the allies that both of us have is insane, dude.
Yeah. It just stuff. Just too much shit. But this is a whole another discussion.
It's just insane.
That's another thing too, because of this whole like back outlash of the outbreak. Everyone has blamed Asians as well, like Asians.
Because some guy ate a bat. Wow, that's like so unfair. anyone
exactly.
really
Like,
anything.
it's like they fucking lived here and you're discriminating them? Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, but it's like, what can you do? People need to shut the fuck up and be open-minded, for God's sake. There, there's too much wrong
Oh
with
my
everything,
god, really?
and I really hope people start going open-minded. And like I said, the only way to be open-minded is to accept that we are wrong. And it's okay to be wrong with everything. It's okay to be wrong with yourself. And to step forward. Even if it's just the world itself, or just you improving your life. Like, I know for me, for example, I've taken the patience, I've taken time, I've realized my wrongs, I've apologized for my wrongs. And even if they don't accept my wrongs, it's okay.
Damn it, fuck. Motivation.
I mean, honestly, it's not okay. I still wish they would hear me out. But even if they don't, I just like to know that I did try for that portion. And even still, like, I'm still figuring out who I am. I'm still figuring out who I want to be. I'm not perfect. Which is why I like people giving me insight on their views and on their life. Because that makes me a stronger person. I like to know what's going on people's heads, and I like to know what's going around everyone else's mindset. So that way I can understand my beliefs, the world, and just everything around me. You feel? I know you're probably going through the same thing too, Irving, because you know how I told you about this like a long ass time ago, about graduation. How you just feel kind of like once you graduate, you kind of just feel like, damn, what's next? Like it's kind of like this empty hole.
Yeah.
And it feels like your whole life that you had is gone, and it's just different. And you could say that's part of being an adult, but it's also you figuring out who you are. At least that's what because I know I felt that way, and
Yeah.
I
See,
still feel that way.
see, for me, it hit me so hard because, and I didn't even like really talk about this with people because they wouldn't understand how I was feeling, because a lot of people, like, you understand it because you've been through something like similar, you know, like you kind of just kind of lost stuff, you know, like you lost these type
Yeah,
of things. So
yeah,
for me, I when when the whole COVID thing happened, it was right in the middle of my spring track season, and
yeah,
literally track I had just started last year, and I did great last year for my first year. I was almost went to state and stuff. And this year I had gotten way better. I was definitely going to state, definitely going to compete, you know, get a scholarship, and that was my plan because that was just what I wanted to do. And halfway in the season, this COVID happens. We get our track meet canceled. We get the next one canceled. We have all the season's just gone, and it's just like, wow, it's over. It's done. Every plan that I had, you know, because
this
like I
is
told you
yeah,
before, like my plan was to help people. That's what I wanted to do since I was pretty small. I wanted to help people in
Yeah.
the future. And the easiest way to the best way for me to do that was to get to a place where I had money, where I had uh, access to help people. I had this type of resource to help people. And
Yeah.
so that's what I was using. I was trying to do all these sports, get what I could. And I finally found the sport that I really wanted to do it in, where it would benefit me to get those resources and have fun and keep my body healthy and stuff. And then it just gets ripped away from me. And and then all the 12 years of schooling, um,
Right.
grinding so hard this last couple years, these 4 years to get the platinum cap, getting these perfect or not perfect SAT scores, but super high 1440, you know,
Yeah.
um, and to get those scores and then them just be, nah, we're not even taking the SAT scores no more. We're good. It's like, what did I do all that for,
Yeah.
And then it really makes me want to cry sometimes, but that's not I can't cry like I just that's not the person I am. I haven't cried in a long time. And
Yeah.
it's like it's hard. Like I haven't truly like broken down for a while. Like
Yeah.
and like sometimes there'll be those tears that come out, but it's
Right.
different. Like that
Yeah.
just total just release of everything.
You're you're at a point now because yeah, I could tell it's a whole lot worse because yeah, you crushed all your hopes and dreams. Like
Hmm.
I was still figuring out what I did. I felt like part of my life was gone. All those 12 years were out of the blue, gone. And you felt that as soon as you graduated. But not only that, you had a mindset and now it's ripped apart. So now you're back from scratch. Like
Yeah.
like it sucks. But I mean, the way I think of it, and this might be because of my pause, my positive mindset. There's
Hmm.
a reason.
Yeah.
Life has a reason.
Yeah, and see, it
It,
takes me, it took me so long to really want to live. Like I didn't want to live for a long time. I was just kind of passing by because other people needed me, and that's what I used to keep myself alive, was that people
I
needed
felt
me.
that.
And at a
Yeah,
certain point, people didn't need me. They kind of just either
yeah.
died or they lost
They moved
themselves.
on.
Yeah, or they moved on. Yeah. And through that time, I just kind of lost myself because I didn't know who I was. I just was this person who always wanted to help people. I wanted to,
Yeah.
do this. And when that opportunity to help people is gone, you're just like, what do I do now? You know?
No,
So it's
I
just tough.
totally understand that.
Yeah.
I know for me, part of me in like middle school through high school was was me trying to make everyone happy,
Yeah.
and I wanted everyone to be happy, and I was tired of seeing people suffer. Um, and it was gotten to the point where I I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing the things for me, and I ignored what everyone was telling me.
It's yes.
And I didn't see until one day I lost everything, and I looked myself in the mirror, and I was like, yeah, I I was an idiot. I need to reevaluate myself. And that's what brought me to the mindset, because I was lost. I was in a dark place. I was lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. Um, I couldn't figure out how I could get back up, especially from being heartbroken and everything. Um, it's hard. But once I find out that I know, change myself and see my point of view and admit to myself that I did this to myself and I was wrong to do all these things.
Yeah.
I grew from it, and I think because of that, you become a better person, especially when you acknowledge it. And like I said, like I know it comes back to around where I tell people, yeah, you gotta acknowledge what is up. But when I say it, and that's what I mean. And
Yeah.
I know for you it sucks because you know part of it, probably was you. You
Mhm.
know how you were saying. But also, it was also life too. Like,
Yeah.
COVID happened. You have kind of lost your way
Yeah.
because of it. But I feel like for that situation, at least what I think is that life put you somewhere else. Life always doesn't know exactly what you have planned, neither what your backup plan was.
Yeah.
But it will take you somewhere okay, as long as you have the right mindset for it. If you don't have the right mindset, and if you aren't enough open and capable of handling what is coming, then you'll be there.
Yeah, because I mean, the the thing the thing that was so lost on me is that I kept losing myself and believing that, this was the end, like this was just
Yeah,
that thing that I couldn't overcome. Like I just had fallen too deep.
yeah,
But the other thing I had to realize was that, okay, maybe I can't, help people, or my plans got fucked up, I can't do what I wanted to do, but there's still a way to move forward, there's something else to do. And that's the thing that I think is lost on a lot of people. And for me in my situation, I just kind of had to embrace that and I had to feel it. And
yeah.
no one could help me with it, but I just had to take it in myself, Like, and of course, people tried to help, like they tried to say things, but
No, of course, but
it's
it's
just
not the
like,
same.
yeah,
You have to see it for yourself. You have to open up, see it
exactly.
for yourself, and look at
It's still
yourself.
glitching.
Wow, that's rough. You can't even click anything?
I could click stuff, but like I can't click the right stuff. Like
Oh, I
it's
see.
literally every color except that.
What the fuck?
I hate it.
I don't know, just click it.
I'm just pressing X. I'm just pressing every
Oh,
button, and I press
oh,
circle and it
that's
does that, and
not
then
fun.
plays something. Okay.
Oh,
I don't even know how I went twice, but yeah. Back to what I was saying.
it's
It.
whatever.
What do you? I know I hate it here.
I hate it here.
She put that in the
Uh,
chat. She's like, I hate it here. I can't even. Oh my, I hate it here. It
it's
just,
okay. It's okay.
it
It's
just,
fine. It's
it,
fine. Don't worry about the game.
it,
It's just for the P. Oh, never
yeah. Oh, you're a little right. I should just leave it there. Just,
It's okay.
it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah. I mean, it's a hard thing. Life is just it. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And that's a given though. And but the thing that always was so terrible for me was that I realized at a very young age that I was alone. And that has to do with just a lot of my family, um just a lot of it being so dark and spread out and manipulated, and it just kind of
I'm sorry, what you
escalated.
got, Pood?
What?
Not, you went to go with food, but also not to mention because you're a minority because you're black.
Yeah,
That's another
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But that see,
Doesn't
but
seem like much, but
Whoa,
that's also
Chris,
the thing
whoa,
about the
whoa.
minority thing
Let's see that?
is you don't even realize it until later in life, because unless you're like taught that at a younger age. But if you're not taught that, you're not gonna realize how bad, like, well, I guess not bad, just how much the world is against you as a minority until you get pretty much like to middle school or something like that, where you start to really see it. And that's just because of my environment. And my environment being California, it was easier to be it's easier to be a minority here than it is a lot of other places. But it still takes its toll. So it's a transition that you have to go through. And for me, as a person growing up in the childhood that I did, and it just wasn't the greatest. It was just it, I couldn't even tell you, dude. There's just so much things that have happened to me, and it's just
well, another podcast.
yeah, another podcast.
Another podcast.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's just, and it all comes back to that money, the greed. It's everybody wants something for themselves, and until they get it, they just keep trying to get it. They keep doing underhanded things. It doesn't matter what happens to them. It's just they want what they want, and they don't want to help other people get to a better place. Like the whole thing what I was talking about Detroit. People want to get out of Detroit. They want to leave, but nobody wants to help each other leave. Yeah, it's glitched again. It's fine. I don't really care anymore.
It's fine. It's whatever.
It just says like stat card and plate card. Oh, there we go. I got one of them.
Oh, I should have done it. I guess we got it. No, I see. I think before people even handle the world, they need to figure out themselves. Otherwise, nothing's gonna be done. The world can wait. And it sucks because it doesn't seem like it should. And to be fair, it shouldn't. But the only way if actual progress is gonna be done is waiting. Wait for people to figure out themselves. That's kind of why we have a lot of politicians and people in high that are older.
Yeah.
Because they are a lot more wiser. However, again, they're very narrow-minded.
See, but also the thing is that, oh wait, she said I never really seen. Oh yeah, just Antonio. It's just for on here, like it's just here. But yeah. But so those people that are so-called wiser, because they're older, that's not always the case, because a lot of people have different views, and a lot of these I don't know, like, what would you call it, fashion. Oh my god, I just got
Lagged out.
it. Didn't even like tell me I lagged out. It was just like
Damn, your thing's all glitched.
yeah. But oh yeah, so see, being older and in these positions of power, I don't feel like it's always the best thing, like most of the time it's actually worse a lot of times, because these older people, they don't want to listen to other people, so it kind of just defeats the whole purpose. Yeah, and it defeats the whole purpose of why they're there in the first place. They're there so they can make informed decisions, and they believe they're informed enough. It sucks.
Um, See, my thing is that even if they're narrow-minded, us as a generation can at least take that in.
Hmm.
Because us, we're slow, especially our generation is more narrow-minded, and that's what I like. Or not narrow-minded, more open-minded.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about us, our generation, as people. Like, we know, we understand what's going on. And because of that, our generation is depressed.
Yeah.
Because we see how much of a letdown society is. And we see how much of a letdown the world is. But it's not too late. And people think it is, but it's not. And I think the best way for right now is to take whatever we got from these narrow-minded people, understand why they're coming from this position, but also take in the other end. Not just that narrow-minded side of a Republican per se, but also take in the Democrat standpoint, also take in the liberal standpoint. See these narrow-minded figures and see each of them and understand why they say these things, because that is the best way you're going to figure out what you really believe in, how you can teach everyone else that comes your way that is starting to become narrow-minded, and put them in this open-minded direction. And for the next generation, they'll be even more open-minded and have bigger, more knowledge. So that way we can slowly grow and figure out, hey, what should we do to this country? What should we do to our world in general? Because
Yeah.
we all know it's shitty. We all know it's shitty because, you know, history has taught us anything. It's been fucking garbage.
Dude, the world. The world has always been fucked. That's the thing. It's been fucked from the start. Like, if, like how I was talking about earlier with the dinosaurs, I mean the cavemen, and
Yeah, yeah,
their way of trading, you know.
yeah.
And the thing is, from that standpoint, we kept evolving, but we also de-evolved at the same time with our humanity.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I don't think people really understand. Yeah, we survived, we grew, we've grown, but our humanity becomes lost, and people don't even want to get it back, and that's the sad part.
What do you mean they won't get it back?
Like
Like,
they people don't want it back. That's the thing. A lot of people just want to forget that they even had humanity. They just want to have their greed. They want to have their power.
oh, I see. Yeah, that, in, I think, and that's what's kind of hard. You know, I see what you're coming from, and you're right. That is hard, because we live in a corporate world that has to do with greed, that has to do with money,
Mhm.
and that has to do with, uh, fuck, what's the word? Uh, Obtaining, it's like obtaining goods, like as your thing. I can't think of the name, but we live in a world where the majority of people prefer um things rather than others.
Yeah, a lot of people are materialistic, and I get it
Yes,
because
materialistic.
a lot of people let you down, you know, and I understand that that's that's not an ideal situation, you know? Like, you don't want to be let down by the people you care about most.
Mhm.
And I get why people would cling to that way of money and life and drugs, whatever, you know, because those things are a constant that they're getting. It's not gonna leave them, you know. And I struggled with that too. Like for a long time, like I everybody has left me in my life, you know, at some point, whether it's death, leaving, moving on, moving away, you know. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you also gotta remember that those material things, they can hurt you in ways that you never even imagined, you know? And that's
Yeah.
what sucks. Because people don't even think about that.
Yeah. It, it's hard.
It fucking sucks, dude. And the fact that people just kind of don't even think about it, they just kind of let it happen. It,
Well, it.
it,
I think a main part of it is nobody realizes,
that too. That is true.
and when people start realizing, they'll question why, and my answer is, I tell you why. You need to figure out yourselves.
Yeah.
You need to figure out others.
But the
You need to
question is,
figure out what's going on in their heads.
will it be too late? You know, that's the always the question I think of is it too late to save everyone? You know, like, what are you gonna be able to do right now?
Yeah. My answer to that is, we have people having conversations like this now,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's how it's gonna it's it's gonna make people talking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's gonna get people talking, and I mean, there are people that are talking about these things. You know, like they they explain how they feel about these things, but the thing is that people don't listen to them as
Yeah,
much.
and it's hard,
Yeah.
like I said, but I think with our generation, and hopefully the next generation is open-minded,
Yeah.
we can we can we could do it. I fully believe in it. It's gonna take another decade.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's not gonna be done in a day, and I don't believe it's gonna be done in the next 10 years. I don't believe it's gonna be in the next 50 years. Cause it takes a lot. It takes a lot to do all these things. But as long as, especially now, we're seeing, like, we're slowly changing the world. Like, we
Hmm.
fucked up so much on this world. Like, for
And he's
nature,
here.
that's a big crucial thing, is we fucked up so much in this in the earth, you know?
Yeah, and
Like us
that's
as humans.
dude, the fact that we fucked up the earth so bad that we literally can't change it, and people don't even want it. A lot of people don't even want to change it because of the greed that we were just talking about, is because it's just insane to think about. And I
Uh,
get it. I get it. I understand, but I can't agree with it. I can't agree with the sentiment, you know?
I don't believe it's. I disagree. I think people. I think the world is saved in a sense.
Saved how?
We have people helping out, and it might not just be a big ass majority, but at least the world knows.
Mm.
Sure, not a lot of people are doing it. Think of it as this. You know how blacks don't feel entirely equal because of this whole thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to where
It's
they're
glitching Andy
th-
as well. He asked
Is it?
if we were gonna play Uno. It was like glitching out. We could try again though, but
Yeah. Oh, is he in the call or is he in
yeah, he's
the
in the
chat?
live stream. Yeah.
Okay. I was saying, yeah. So like, you think of it as right now, this is the Earth getting free rights.
Mhm.
Like, it's better. Like, our causes, our problems
Yeah.
of the world. Like, we figured out that, 70% of our pollution is caused by, fucking food, farms, from fucking cow farms and shit.
Mhm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
That's why, like, a lot of people are going vegan and shit like that. I doubt it's gonna, like, at least we know.
that's true.
Is it gonna change? Who knows? It's up to how long the people, you know.
Well, that's what I'm
It's as
saying
long
though.
as people speak up. And this is what I was saying the entire time. The world needs to speak up about these things.
Mhm.
They can't just hide in the shadows and wait for someone because no one is.
Yeah, and that's
And
what
if
I'm
they
saying.
are, it's the fucking idiots, the people that you don't want them to speak.
Yeah, like it's insane because it when you when people want to talk out and talk against these issues, it's usually a person that's for these issues. Like, and it's insane. Oh my god, it's glitching out again. Oh my god. I
Why
just
do you
drew
think we
so many
have
balls.
like we fucked so bad about our cigarette company? Like, and
Yeah.
we found out cigarettes are bad. Well,
Mhm.
you can't just bankrupt them.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. It's too late. It's too late for that. The only thing now you could do is say no to cigarettes. So they'll eventually draw out.
Yeah. And
It's,
that's why it's still legal, you know, it's still
yeah.
a thing. Because so many people already had got addicted and it was
Well,
like a
that and of course, we live in a corporate society.
yeah, and it was a what's it called? It was like this big, it's basically like this big snowball effect, you know? Like you can't what are you going to do, you know?
The only thing you can do is, eventually we'll stop it. Eventually people realize that, hey, tobacco's bad.
But even then, a lot of people don't care, you know? Like there's some people that take drugs that they know are bad, but they still take them just because they like the way it makes them feel, or they just want to do it because they can, you know?
Yeah. No, and I understand that.
And I understand. You can take whatever drug you want. That's what you want to
That's
do.
you.
That's your business. But the only time I have problems with people taking drugs is when they're not able to do what they need to do, or they're not able to
They're
contribute
not,
to themselves or society. You know, they're not able to
yeah.
like even just like saying something. You know, just speaking out on
They,
something.
yeah, they
You
do
know?
it because they're lost.
Yeah, and I get that. I was in the same place, you know, I I just couldn't fathom what I was supposed to do, you know? And it's insane.
And, and, like I said, I think people need to think before they act.
Yeah.
I need people to see themselves for who they really are and admit they have something wrong with them. Admit that they did something wrong. Admit their wrongs. Admit their sins. Isn't that what most religions say? Release your sins.
Yeah, but okay, see, that's the thing that I was talking about before though, with when I was talking about like a couple years ago when I was watching the No Jumper interview with X, and
Mhm.
when he was just saying that you feel alone, and you're always gonna be alone unless you confess your sins to whatever higher power you believe in. And the thing is, once you do that, what's happening? Like what happens after that? You still feel alone. You still have all this stuff.
Well,
You know,
here's the thing. Who's the higher power?
that's exactly that's the other
You
thing
think
to think
it's
about.
God? No, it's you.
Yeah,
You are the person.
perfect.
No
That's a
one's gonna
perfect.
listen to you but you.
Yeah,
No one's gonna admit that you're wrong but you. It's all up to you. You as an individual.
yeah. But people don't want to take that responsibility, or they don't feel like they can.
Because they're scared. And
Yeah,
you
and
shouldn't
they
be
have a
scared.
no, but see, that's where I disagree. I feel like they can be scared because that is that is a tremendous way. This man died in Skyrim. But yeah, but that is a very real fear, like
Yeah.
because
To admit you're wrong.
yeah, like I said, it's an
And
undesirable feeling, you know.
yeah.
Sucks, man.
You're right about that. But that's the only way you can become a better person.
That's true.
If you don't admit that, you're not gonna become a better person.
That is absolutely true.
And that's the sad truth. And it sucks because I wish more people would. It's I've always thought humanity, I always hated, I always despised people.
Yeah,
I always thought everyone was corrupted.
I get that, and I mean that's how it looks, you know. So I mean, what can you do?
I'm so confused what just happened. It totally
Dude, I don't
glitched.
know. The glitch is terrible. I
It
don't.
really
I'm
is.
pulling cards and playing them at the same time.
Yeah, I see them like fucking skipping each other but not giving a fuck and still playing. It hasn't even been my turn and I don't understand why. It's whatever. Uh, like, yeah. So like I was saying, I believe that, but then I started to believe that people are so fucking close and it's saddening to see how close they are in fixing themselves and in the world. It's like if you just open your eyes, you could see it. You can literally taste how good it is to be in this world, to be in a society like this. Forget all about the corruption. Just you living. It and living with
Nah,
others
he's not.
and everything being okay. It's so close yet so far because you have to think of every other millions of people have to see this.
Yeah, and that's the realization that people don't come to, you know.
And the only way and the sad part is the only way to figure all this shit out and for us to be whole is if you have to figure it out. Is each individual has to figure this stuff out. And it just sucks. Especially with all the influences in this world, you know? You can't trust all the influences. You can be influenced, but you have to take it with a grain of salt, otherwise you would get nowhere.
Yeah, because if you hold too much weight to it, it just destroys you. You know, it just tears you
It
apart.
doesn't make you it doesn't make you
It's undesirable.
It makes you narrow-minded.
Yeah. And and once you're narrow-minded, it just ends the rest of society because you can't comprehend other people's feelings. You lose yourself, and they they can't talk to you, you know? And it just sucks.
This is why philosophy changed so much.
Yeah.
Is because people started becoming narrow-minded.
Most definitely.
I just skipped my turn. I didn't even. I was
Dude,
supposed to draw.
I don't know how I can't even do the card that will stop you.
It's fucking so stupid.
I don't even.
I hate it here.
I hate it here. But yeah, but like that's. Oh, and I want to talk about this. You know, the Midnight Gospel. You know how we like both watched it. You know,
Yeah.
and so
Of course.
the episode with death. The episode with
Yes.
death. That one really kind of reverberated in me. You know, like it just kind of shook me a lot. And so the thing with sitting with the dead body and you know they just died and you're sitting there with them dead and you're just kind of getting this realization and this closure. So I just want to know, what do you think about that? Like what's your take on
Are you talking about the corrupted standpoint, or are you talking about?
that? See, I'm just talking about the standpoint of just being in that moment.
Or seeing the body?
Yeah, like okay, so when the body dies and
Yeah.
the death's talking about how you could just take that time to sit there and realize, like, just get all that composure and take a moment, you know, instead of grieving after, you know. And I just want to know, what do you think is kind of that best way to kind of get your feelings through, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like such a fucking like a person with no emotions right now. Like
feel
I've
you.
experienced death in my family, and I've seen the dead bodies,
Mhm.
and I've experienced loss of friends,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be real with you. I'm upset by it. Like, don't get me wrong. I just, to me, I can't. Like, I've always been afraid. Like, especially like if my mom dies,
Mhm.
like like one of my close family member dies.
Yeah.
I try picturing in my head of what that would happen, so that way I could cope with it. And it sounds fucked up, but I just can't. Like, I don't have emotion.
I feel that.
Like,
Yeah.
it sounds fucked up, because it sounds like, oh, well, you're just heartless, because,
But it's not.
But
It's not like that.
it's more of me being like, it happens. It's the way of life. It sucks, it's horrible, things are definitely gonna change,
Yeah.
Things are definitely changed around here, and it will not be the same.
See,
But
for me,
we live in a world to keep moving,
yeah,
to keep going with it, to keep going with the flow.
yeah. So you
I
can't.
just have to accept it and move on. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, I'll have times where I think about it and I'm like sad about it,
Mhm.
but like, I don't cry in funerals.
I get that.
Like,
You know.
like, it's gotten to the point where I look weird. Why is the timer ticking down? It's gotten to the point where I don't cry at funerals, up to the point where I try to fake cry. Because people look at me and, like, look weird, like, why are you not having emotion?
I totally get that. Like that's why I don't go to funerals. You know, that's not my
Yeah,
that's I can't do that. I can't grieve like that. You know, it's just
yeah,
not me. Um, but yeah, I totally get that. And I don't think you're heartless or anything. I think that's just how you deal with it. You know, that's just your way of moving forward. And but see the whole thing with the midnight gospel thing where she was talking about sitting with the dead body, and see that I resonated with because it was like, okay, I understand how you could do that, you know, like I understand why that's so important. It's because you're getting to sit with that person that you know for sure is dead, and you kind of get to you got not enjoy, but you get to let all your emotion out right then and there. If you had
yeah,
emotion, you know, if you had a grieving feeling, you know. Also, I can't press the thing.
yeah. I can't either. We're just gonna wait
That's
it out.
crazy.
We're just gonna wait it out. And so, I don't know. I see when you said that, I thought you were talking about the corporate view.
Oh yeah.
How you were talking, like I know they were saying like you could sit there with your body, and sometimes you ended up you can't even grieve yet
Hmm.
because you have to focus on the funerals and everything,
Yeah.
and how basically you're paying the company
Hmm.
for shit, so you don't even have time to grieve.
Yeah. And
Like
yeah, I
oh, like yeah, that is actually fucked up from the analogy she was saying.
yeah. Because it
And I
is.
was,
It's
yeah,
that shouldn't be how it is. But
it is.
yeah. It sucks,
Uh,
man.
it sucks, but at least you know they have the proper care. At least they can take care of it. It won't, you know. I also like to believe. So I'm. This is for another podcast. Right, see, we have so many podcasts
You
coming up,
really
guys.
do,
Stay
dude.
tuned.
That's
But I believe in ghosts. I physically believe in ghosts, so I believe they're still around. Um, so I don't. I feel like they can still talk to me if they want to. You just have
hmm.
to acknowledge them. Again, sound fucking crazy, but you know, we're here talking
You
about what
know,
our minds are. So
you know, I I've never believed in ghosts because I've just never seen like the proof of it, you know. But
I have some stories, but it's another podcast.
yeah,
Another podcast.
but yeah, that's another podcast. You
Another
know, but
podcast.
I'm open to the possibility that they could be real, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, but back to the whole the death thing. The
people. Yes, people death.
So you know, in the last episode when his mom's dying, she explains how she like literally the crematorium people called her to tell
Yes.
her to pay the money in advance, like to find out how much it costs, you know, to get cremated and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that's that in a way, like just
Yeah,
that for me.
you're talking to the person who's dying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be $2,000 for
yeah,
you dying.
like that's
Um, hmm.
like what?
Thanks, corporate America.
So you said I lived this whole life, paid all these taxes, did all these things, and you're telling me for my way out of this life, for my way out of
Yeah,
this life, I have
the
to
way out
pay
is. Mm-hmm.
money
Yep.
before I die.
Yep.
That's
And if
great.
you don't, well, you're gonna your children are gonna hate you. They're gonna have to pay it.
Exactly. Like it's just like how could you do that? How could you do that to my family? Like not let it alone me, my family. You know?
I don't even know if there's like a way you could do it for free. Like, I don't think you could be like, can I have the body? and
You can't.
I'll bury it myself. Like, I don't think you could do that.
Yeah, you
I
can't. You
think you
literally
have
have
to.
to do
Yeah,
so.
I
Like
think
you have to call.
Yeah, I think you actually physically have to call. I don't think you can be like, I want to do it myself. No charge, thank you.
No charge. Thank you.
No thousands of
Yeah, see,
dollars.
Andy even said it like right now. He's like, it's sad how the dead still got bills. Like exactly. Like
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like how are you just gonna be like, oh yeah, so you had to pay all these bills your whole life, taxes, your mortgage, your car, whatever you had, and now
I
to put you to rest, even just to cremate you, even just to burn you, my guy, you have to pay $700.
I think the thing is I think that should be in your taxes.
It should, or
I
something, like in your
because I
pension or something,
I understand that the crematorials and you know, all the people who run the graveyards and whatever service you're doing, I believe they should get paid because that's a tough job to do.
Yeah.
At the same time though, you can't be paying that much for your death. It should be in your taxes. It should be in your taxes from the start. So that way, because what are the conditions of you living alone?
Exactly. Like, what are you gonna do?
Did they just put you in a body bag and just dump you in the ocean? Like,
Yeah,
what did they do?
Dude, and the one thing that I was seeing was that if you like live alone or you don't have like next to kin or something, they literally just burn you and nothing. Like, just that's it. You're done.
You know, it's another one. It's another podcast. I was going to talk about hospitals, but I have so much to go on hospitals. Yeah, man, people are just cold. Just to do with greed. Can't understand.
It sucks. Yeah.
You know what sucks too? Like Twitch, like Twitch streaming, right? The big streamers. To even get recognized, this is the shitty part about streaming, and this is why, like, I'm glad, I don't have a lot of people that follow me, a lot of people that, so that way I can read chat. I'm not reading chat right now, because I'm just in my zone thinking.
I feel you. Yeah.
But, I like to listen to chat and I like to answer. But the thing that I hate with streaming and most streamers, the only way you're gonna be heard is if you pay.
But yeah. I know.
That's the shitty part. Like,
Honest.
you know how many people, like, I know a lot of people would love to have conversations with others,
Yeah.
And they just can't. Why? Because they need money. They need
That's so
money
sad,
to
dude.
talk.
Like,
That's
even,
the worst thing.
dude, even
Like-
those those like automated like voice things where people like call just to talk to someone when they're lonely, even those like cost money. And it's just like, damn, dude. Like, people get really lonely, man.
Yeah. And it sucks because you have to pay for that? That's even to add on another thing why people are so poor. To get inspiration of their heroes, to talk to their heroes, And the only way to do that is to pay? And it's been like that the entire time. Like think of music, for example. you have to pay how many dollars for VIP tickets to even meet the person.
Exactly.
Like, it's awful. And I try, like, DMing people a lot. Like, say, like, when shit hits the fan for, like, a lot of content creators, I give them a shrug and be like, hey, man, it's alright. And, like, I know they're too busy to respond, but I wish they at least, like know
see
that they got it. Yeah.
I get that.
Like, I like to know that. Like, I know they can't message me, which is fine. I get it. But I like to, know that they sent me, they read it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know that a lot of people are gonna be okay with shit, like, when shit happens.
Yeah. And
Cause
a lot of people aren't,
Yeah. And again, I don't want to spend money on them.
Yeah.
Like, I would, because depending on who they are, I would totally. But at the same time, I don't believe in how the system works.
Exactly.
I don't believe you have to force money for them to talk to you. That's kind of shitty.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
I'm a person who's grateful for everything. I'm grateful. I'm lucky the shit I have now. I'm lucky to have a fucking, this console. I'm thankful to have a badass computer. I'm thankful for all this, the school I applied in. I'm thankful for my job. Like, I'm thankful for everything that is given me the option to be in, and given me the choice to be in.
Yeah.
And I never take stuff for granted. And I think a lot of people take so much stuff for granted they don't even realize. And I don't blame them, because we live in a materialistic society where everything's materialistic, and everything shouldn't be that way because of our problem with our economy. God damn it.
It's just ruined, And how do you fix a broken economy, for one?
There's multiple ways. I don't think there's a way we can fix our materialistic society except by fixing our economy. But even then, that's really hard to do.
That's what I mean. Like, how do you even go about doing that?
It takes time, and there can't be any more flaws. Like, for instance, we shouldn't have gotten these fucking checks in the first place, but we all know who the Trump voters are. We got our checks. We're voting for Trump. Hell yeah. Yeehaw, I'm gonna go fuck my sister. Be right back.
And then, but even that, like, even the checks, the whole reason why we even have to have the checks is because he abolished the whole thing that was supposed to prevent us from getting the virus. That's the whole, like, thing, man. Like, what was the point? Now you literally just fucked with the economy more than it already is. And it's just like, wow. Like, what do you do now?
See, and everybody knew the economy was... I fucking told everyone. I was like, why you guys... Like, people that voted for Trump, I was just like, yo, here's the dealio. He's a businessman. And that's the thing, though. I don't believe any businessmen with high power, such as Trump, should be in presidential election. For this exact reason. Because the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And it doesn't help when we live in a materialistic society. Because guess what? What's happening now? The poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting goddamn richer. And why? Because of two reasons. Our economic system and our materialist society.
I feel that, and it's just,
And us as people.
it sucks, man.
But it's hard to be people because we live in this society. And I don't think that'll ever change. The only thing we can do is let people know that we are that we know when we have enough stuff, and it's and even then it's again people that live in this society, they just need to know that the more shit you buy, supply and demand will raise up, and you are hurting the economy for everyone.
Yeah.
And you can't. And the only way to do that is spread out awareness. But
It just sucks.
hey, who do I know? I will get shot one day. That's how you'll know. I'll get hit down
Exactly, man.
by the government for talking.
Sucks, man. It's just like, what do you even do?
I tell you what, dude. You just have to. If you have any problems, just open up your word, open up your mind.
Yeah.
Spread the word that everyone needs to be open-minded. Everyone needs to
And then, but the
loosen
thing
up,
is,
concentrate on themselves, focus on themselves, be a better person, so that you can be open-minded. Add some perspective in your life.
they don't, what's it called? They don't listen, you know?
Yeah, no, but can you do?
I don't even know, man. It's just kind of ruined.
All you can do is hope for the best. You
Yeah.
gotta stay positive. You can't just be down, think everything's failing, you know? You gotta have hope. Even though it doesn't feel like it. And it won't feel like that, like I said, for a very long time. Until it's acknowledged and established for the majority of society. But there will be a day. 100%. I believe that. I believe it'll be acknowledged. And then we'll slowly figure out what to do then.
Yeah, it's just hard, you know, for people to really understand that, that concept.
Yeah, it is hard. It's not an easy task to admit that you're wrong. Admit that anything's wrong.
Yeah.
To believe on what you write might not be right. You have to think, make sure it's right, at least for you. If you stand by it, stand by it. Believe what you believe if you fully, truly believe that. But I mean fully and truly. If you don't, what good is it?
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
And And also, don't be afraid to fucking talk. Who cares of who's gonna backlash on you because of what you believe? If you believe what is right, say it. Speak it out loud. Talk about it. People need to talk. Don't be afraid of the fucking racists. Don't be afraid of you being a racist. Don't be afraid of, you know, what you're gonna say is bad. No. It adds perspective on people. It makes people have insight on what you believe. And if people cannot accept that, you need to make them understand that, hey, you have an opinion too, and they have an opinion, and you all have to make sure that it's like, that it's okay to have separate opinions.
Literally, dude. It just sucks because people get these different opinions and then they don't have open minds to receive them.
Yeah. And that's why I think if someone wants to speak out and someone wants to say something, and if they get talked shit, tell them, hey, look, open up at what I have to really say. Don't just look on your opinion. And if you can't look on that, then you shouldn't even be talking.
Facts, dude.
Because they really shouldn't be. Because those are the people that run in fucking office. Notice how I've been talking political? Normal people will be like, I said this before, they'd be like, not to be political, but no, shut the fuck up. We need political things to be talked about. Otherwise, nobody's gonna care and everyone's gonna be afraid because government. Stop it. We can talk politics here. If you were that fucking weak, get the fuck out. Sorry. If you think narrow-minded, get the fuck out.
Facts.
Or stay, so that way you can actually listen and understand. Try to understand. Have your brain, make it function, and try to understand. Get it out of your... Fucking tap on your brain. Have the fucking... Make sure there's a tumor in it. For that knowledge.
Honestly, dude, because that's the thing that is lost on some people. They don't want to learn.
Yeah.
They don't want to
And if they don't want to, they can get the fuck out.
Yeah, but see, when they do, that ruins it for everyone else. And that's where we lose everything. Because we just let these people go. And what can you do other than let them go? Nothing.
No. Because they're, to me, I think if they are not willing to understand, then they are not cut out for society.
See, you could, like, I understand that. But the thing is, if they're not cut out for society, but they're in society, then they're ruining the society, and you can't weed them out, you know?
We'll execute them.
See,
We'll call Order 66. Destroy all the Jedi. Destroy all the narrow-mindeds.
only if that could work.
Hey man.
But see, then there would be
Maybe
rebellion.
if I was president, I'd be a fucking dictator.
Hopefully not like Mike
careful.
Pence.
You're right. I would just destroy all the narrow-minded creatures.
See, but how do you determine who's narrow-minded and who's not.
I don't know. How do you determine who's a Nazi and who isn't? Who's Jewish and who isn't?
Exactly. That's
Man, you should execute one by one. I don't know what to say.
and that's my point, you know, because you could execute all of them, but it doesn't matter. There's still gonna be more coming, you know.
You're right. They could never be extinguished.
Yeah. So
Not
what do
for
you?
our Aryan race.
So what do you
Our
do?
big brain race. Well, the best way is to give a majority. That's the best thing.
Yeah. That could
Because the
work.
majority votes, who gives a fuck about those guys?
True.
That's why we have voters.
It is. It is. But regardless, there's always going to be a restart. There's always going to be that circle that comes back. And that's the thing that you try to destroy, but you can't.
You're right.
Because it's
You're right about
not it's not a thing.
You're right. Which is why, for the time being, we have to at least bring it back. So that way that circle only stays for a little bit. That bad part only stays for like maybe a quarter, not 75%. Flip it around, America. Flip it around. Think. Think before you act. Think smarter, not harder.
Think smarter, not harder. That is by far one of the best slogans out there. You know? Because if people thought smarter and not harder, they would be more open-minded in general. So, being open-minded gives room for education, you know?
I love this frozen background.
This guy, I already quit because I was just like, fuck it, dude.
Oh, you're still in this for me.
Bruh.
This game's all fucked up. You know. It'll be okay. It'll be alright. We just gotta, like I said, the first step is to know your place and
Yeah.
and be better of yourself. Be a better self. You can never be perfect. You can always be better. And I think that wraps up today.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You know,
I
2 hours,
don't know what
48
else.
minutes.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think I got what I needed to say out there.
yeah. Just,
Nobody's watching me. Is anybody watching you?
not anymore. Nah.
Damn. Okay. Well, I was gonna be like, well, we're gonna make a channel having more podcasts. I'm just gonna say anyway, just in case someone rewatches it.
Yeah, I
Some
mean,
people
they'll
do.
probably
Some
watch
people
it.
do in my channel.
Yeah.
Anyone who you know, we're gonna make a channel.
We forgot to make up the name.
We have to make up a name. This is temporary. Like, we don't know. I know this tile is the same, besides maybe the name. Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast. I don't know. When do you want to start doing podcasts?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you.
Like I want to say every week, but
like,
I doubt that's
yeah.
gonna happen. We could.
You know what?
I don't want.
You know what? We'll just. I don't even know. I was just gonna say, like, just try for something. Like,
I wanna maybe
once every 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't want to do once every month.
Yeah,
Cause
that's just
that's too
no.
long.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's too long. I have too many. I just want to talk about shit,
see see
and
1 month it would be like if we were like doing like editing and shit to it, then I would be like, maybe, but nah.
yeah,
But this is
I don't
just
want to
like,
do editing. I
yeah,
Yeah, and every week it's just too much to set up. I don't know
yeah,
if it's gonna be like, you know,
yeah. If there's even gonna be like a bunch of people watching for it, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. What I will say is I think 2 weeks is good.
yeah.
Um, yeah, don't know what we're gonna name it. Again, we'll figure it out. We'll fucking tweet it out. I'll shout it out
I'll,
in this channel. Fucking my Twitter. Uh, fucking my
I'll,
Snap, my
we'll,
Instagram.
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure everything out. I literally just came on today just being like, I want to talk about some shit, because this was in my head all fucking day about fucking people.
Yeah, it's
I
just insane.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know what their next podcast is going to be about. Could be literally anything.
You know, we'll figure that out too.
We'll figure that out too. You know, I have so many plans. Like we got religion, we got politics, we got ghost stories, we
I'll,
got ghosts, we got supernatural. I guess we'll talk about supernatural.
I think
Uh,
Supernatural is like the next one. That would be
yeah.
good. But we'll see.
Relationships. We could
Ah,
totally talk about
true.
and I'm not just saying relationships like.
Crazy exes.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about that. I'm just saying relationships as a whole.
Yeah, friendships and shit.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Friendships, exes,
yeah,
family,
just everything, man.
just all, yeah,
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll let you guys know. Yeah. We'll let everyone else know. We'll set something up. I'll draw some channel art. That's gonna take a bit, but be worth it. I have to set up. We're gonna do this on Discord too,
Yeah.
because I feel like
It'd probably
it'd
be easier.
be easier.
And nicer.
Quality would be better. Yeah, be a little bit better. Um, yeah, and I can make it look good rather than having this glitchy ass Uno.
Hell.
I'm still at the plus for menu.
This man. Dude, I don't know why it was like that, dude. That's terrible.
Yeah, I could still move my cards. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that's it for now. Ta-ta
Yeah.
for now.
Later, skaters.